Hi, welcome to Everyone Can Jam, where everyone can learn to play music. And some people find that a tough pill to swallow. Some people think they have a lot of evidence that they can't learn. I actually heard someone say something, and actually this is what really spurred me on when I started this project. He said, I tried taking music lessons, and the only thing that proved is that I can't learn music. And I was a little shy at the time, but it was one of those times when later on I thought of the thing that I wished that I said. And what I wished that I said was, you know what, the only thing that proves is that that teacher was unable to teach you how to play music. Learning to play music can be easy, and it can be enjoyable when you are taught at the right level, right where you are. And teaching music is very challenging though, because assessing each student and knowing right where they are and then designing material for right where they are, it takes a lot of thought and time and a lot of creative thinking. So let's talk for a minute about comparing the process of learning math to the process of learning music. When we think about math, it's easier to understand. For example, even if you're not a math person, even if you're not a teacher person, if you were going to take a kindergartner and teach them math, would you start with addition and subtraction, or would you start with counting? Now, you might have a class of kindergartners. Some of your kindergarten students might be able to count to 10, and you could start working on how to count to 100. But if they didn't know how to count to 10, you would have to start with, counting to, okay, this is 1, this is 2. And then when they can count to 10, then you can build on that and start counting to 100. And then you can start with simple things like addition and subtraction. You definitely wouldn't start your kindergartners with multiplication. And what happens, so let's take two imaginary friends, Jimmy and Susie. And Jimmy goes to a school that has math class. And he goes to elementary school, and he goes to junior high, and he's in math class. But Susie goes to a school where they don't have math class in elementary school. They don't have math class in junior high. And then they both go to the same high school, Jimmy and Susie. And they're both in algebra class. Jimmy's going to do okay if he was paying attention and if he was instructed properly in his classes. But Susie is not going to be able to do algebra. And if she's in a situation where people expect her to do algebra, she's going to look at Jimmy and say, well, what has he got that I haven't got? I guess I'm bad at math. So I know that sounds ridiculous, but when it comes to music education in modern Western culture, we do that a lot. A lot of people get a lot of music education in their home or through other experiences that they happen to have. Kind of like Jimmy going to the school that had math class. And then a lot of people grow up in a home where they're not really learning a lot about understanding or making music. They're definitely hearing music or just not having the same experiences that Jimmy did. And then they come together at some kind of beginner class or their music camp together, and Susie's looking at Jimmy saying, what does he have that I don't have? He's just more talented than me. Really what it is he just already gained skills that she hasn't gained yet, and she can gain them too. And so with music instruction, we have to be really careful to start where you're at. A lot of instructional materials that are called beginner really start too high for people like Susie. And then a lot of things you'll find on YouTube. I know you're on YouTube because you're watching this. They might say it's easy, but it's maybe still a little too high. So the first class that I'm working on for my Everyone Can Jam music school is called How to Get Ready to Learn How to Play the Guitar. So this is for people like Susie that didn't get, certain basic things. And it's not difficult to learn some basic techniques, some basic skills, some basic knowledge that is going to make you more ready to access the YouTube lessons that look like fun. Some of them you've already tried and maybe they've worked out and maybe they haven't. Or you're with a friend who plays music, or you bought a book that said beginner. Once you gain more basic skills, it's going to be a lot more fun to access those YouTube videos and the beginner book. And especially if you get a chance to sit down with a really good musician, you're excited to learn from them. Sometimes a really good musician is not a really good teacher, and they're likely to give you too much all at once. But let's just raise your skill level and some basic knowledge. And also I want you to learn some things about how the process of learning music works, so that your friend who's a good musician, when they teach you something, you can modify what you're given to make it more appropriate for the level you're at, and break it down into more bite-sized pieces, and so you can focus on one thing at a time and not focus on 6 things at a time, and then you'll progress better and have more fun. So if you want to know details about any of my classes, please go to www.everyonecanjam.com and sign up for my email list, because that's how I will send you details about any of my classes. And the first class I'm working on is called How to Get Ready to Learn How to Play the Guitar. I'll also be working on a class about developing your sense of rhythm, which I promise you have, and a class called Can Jam, which is beginner level improv, which is a lot more fun than trying to play something up here when your skill level is right about here. And it also develops your musicianship, and it helps your progress a lot too. So I will see you next time, and I hope to see you on my email list. Bye.